Am I the jerk for telling my mom it wasn't cute or funny to dress me as a hot dog instead of a princess? So there's this new Target commercial going around where a little girl dresses as a hot dog, and it came on while my family was watching a scary movie. I, 20F, am home from college for the weekend and brought my boyfriend, and my mother, 57F, decided it would be hilarious to mention that she'd made me a hot dog costume as a kid, except the way she told the story, it was my request. She said that all the girls wanted to be Disney princesses, but I had asked to be a hot dog, and so she'd gone out of her way to make me that costume. This is not what happened, and I said as much. What actually happened is that I wanted to be Snow White and had told everyone, including the teachers, that I was going to be Snow White. I was obsessed with that movie as a kid, to the point where I would actually get invested in doing chores because I was cleaning up just like Snow White. My dad and I would watch that movie all the time, and I was very excited to be Snow White for Halloween, especially because my ballet studio was doing a special princess dance for Halloween and we'd all signed up for special princess slots. I'd shown up early with my dad the week before so I could get to be Snow White. My mother decided that she wanted to be quirky and that Snow White was a bad role model after I got in trouble for trying to cook dinner for my family. I was about 8, and I tried to make hot dogs, like how she made food for the dwarves in the movie, and I made a mess. My mom surprised me on the day of with this crappy hot dog suit and told me if I didn't wear it she'd never let me watch Snow White again. She took a million pictures, the other girls teased me for months, and it was one of the most humiliating moments of my childhood. I told the real story and mentioned that I got through the day by pretending that she was the evil queen making me dress in rags, but the rags happened to be a garbage meat costume. She got really quiet after that, and after we left, my brother said she was crying and looking at the pictures from that Halloween. I didn't want to make my mom cry, but it's a crappy memory for me and it felt like she was trying to humiliate me all over again in front of my boyfriend. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Wow, what a crappy move by your mom, and to an 8-year-old. I'm glad you told the truth and stood up for yourself. I hope she learns. Geez, what a witch. I'm sorry that happened. Ops response. I hadn't thought about it in ages until I saw that commercial, honestly. Commenter 2. I'd say let it go, but that would be so hypocritical of me. So instead, make peace with your hot dog costume, but remember your mom for whitewashing the memory. My mom has a version of my childhood that did not happen, at all. In my mom's version, it was all snowflakes, hugs, puppies, and unicorns, and that is not the reality I lived. I've since let it go, as that's what she needs to remember, and that's okay. It's not reality, but it's okay that she wants to remember it that way. It doesn't change what really happened, and if she needs to remember it that way, that's fine. I don't let it impact me. That said, I do get the absolute outrage of that's effing not what happened. I just shrug and let it go because I decided I don't care. Ops response. In my mom's version, I hated the other girls in town as much as she hated the other women and wanted to be a weird kid because she wanted to be a weird mom who didn't like housework, makeup, or dresses. I learned makeup from a friend's mom, I learned basic house skills from YouTube, and I never had clothes I actually liked unless I asked her relatives for them for Christmas or my birthday. It sucked. To a deleted commenter. It was honestly one of the worst memories of my childhood, which I am well aware means I had a pretty good childhood overall. It still just makes me feel like I'm this gross, waddling thing that can never be pretty, delicate, or worthy when I think about it. Like I'm just gross and forced to watch everyone else be special and lovely. Up on the dynamics between her mom and her. She hated Snow White. And Cinderella and Aurora. She was kind of okay with Belle and really pushed Mulan and Merida on me, but those weren't the ones I was interested in. She generally hated everything I liked and was really into the whole Cinderella ate my daughter thing. She wanted us to be allies against the other moms in the town we lived in, and I just wanted her to be like the other moms, honestly, because they were nicer. She wanted a different kind of kid than I was. It got a little better once I hit high school and she turned her focus to my brother and finally let me try out for cheerleading instead of basketball, but in middle school and before, she was constantly trying to mold me into some sort of counterculture girl who she could say was so much smarter and better than the other girls. It made it hard to make friends, and once I had those friends, it felt like she was constantly sabotaging it because she thought they were beneath me for having the same interests I had. Commenter 3. What was her deal with the other moms? Did they reject her, or did she just look down on them for some reason? It's gross that she made her issues your issues too. Ops response. Apparently, she was bullied a lot in school or something and wanted me to grow up daring to be different or something. Commenter 4. Not the jerk, Op, but keep this lesson in mind for your own kids. Ops downvoted response. When I have daughters, they're actually going to be raised to like women, princesses, and things that are nice and made for them. I'm not about to pull that sort of thing with my own kids. Update 6 months later. Hi everyone. First off, I wanted to give a big thank you to all the people who reached out with kindness back in October. I was struggling a lot with whether I'd done the right thing, and getting such an overwhelming consensus definitely helped me feel better. There wasn't actually that much fallout from the whole situation, and I kind of forgot about it for a few months. My mom was a little awkward the next few times we saw each other, but that was all back to normal by Christmas. It didn't destroy our relationship, and I realized that a lot of my fears were just anxiety and overthinking clouding my mind. My brother made a few snide remarks, but I didn't get or give an apology, and I figured that was that. However, last weekend my mom picked me up from work and took me to her place, saying she had a surprise and I should shower and do my hair fancy. She had all the nicest skincare and hair stuff laid out, which means a lot because she's never been into that stuff, and when I was done, she surprised me with the most gorgeous snow-white dress I've ever seen. It is genuinely stunning quality, and I couldn't believe it was actually for me. She was all dressed up as the Wicked Queen too, with a cowl and everything, and she took me to see the new Snow White movie together. When I tell you I almost cried, I'm not exaggerating. It was one of the best days I've ever had with her, and I felt like a legit princess. When little girls came up and asked for pictures, I swear, I've never enjoyed anything that much. I might actually try and get a job as a party princess if I can swing it, just because of how great this experience was. After the movie, which, by the way, is better than most people are saying, I hated the new love interest, but Rachel killed it. She apologized for not taking my feelings into consideration when I was younger and explained that she has always wanted me to feel like I could be anyone I wanted to be and didn't have to conform, but what she did ended up being a form of forced confirmation itself, and if I want to be a princess, she's going to do her best to help me feel like the best princess in the world. She did explain that the hot dog costume wasn't meant to be a punishment. She honestly thought I'd think it was funny, but that she should never have gone that far without making sure I liked it, and she didn't actually ever intend to take Snow White away. I believe this. She seems truly apologetic, and I told her that she is 200% forgiven. So, things are good. I'm glad I spoke up when I did, and I think my mom and I are going to be closer now, honestly. She's a good person, and I'm really grateful to have a mother like her. Thank you. Top/relevant comments. Commenter. Yay to your mom, my goodness, she's done some work there, thinking about all that and planning how to apologize. She must love you very, very much. So pleased it's worked out well. Op's response. She does. She isn't perfect, but she genuinely tries her best, and I love her for it. Commenter 2. Op not learning anything and being determined to repeat the same mistakes with her own children is just so damn depressing. Just let your kids have interests and support them. It's not that complicated. So much of the cycle of mother-daughter trauma is just women going, I don't want to hurt my kids in the same way that my mother hurt me, so I'm going to swing in the opposite direction and hurt my kids in a completely different way. And I do think that part of it is genuinely not wanting their daughters to go through what they did, but they're coming from a place of hurt and not of wisdom, so they often don't see the new ways they're hurting their daughters. And the other part is that subconscious need to project their ideal childhood onto their daughter as a sort of attempt at self-healing, even if their ideal childhood is their daughter's personal hell. My mother thought that she was too chubby as a teenager and decided that her mom should have put her on a diet, which I don't think is true, because she felt bad about herself. So, not wanting me to feel bad about myself, she put me on that 1,200 calorie a day diet as a 17-year-old who ran cross-country and was doing a very intensive high school curriculum. My body and brain were doing intense labor on a semi-starvation diet, and it didn't actually help me feel better about myself, the extreme opposite, actually. I was hungry all the time, and I got the message that my mother thought I would be less valuable as a person if I gained weight. She was deep in her own disordered eating at the time, and she was projecting her own trauma onto me. It took a long time to understand that, and even though I've forgiven, I haven't forgotten, and the trauma is still there. Op needs to do some serious work on herself before she has her own kids and perpetuates this cycle of trauma.